Hey there, welcome to the Christian Media Marketing Show. My name's John. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I am extremely grateful for all that you do to make Jesus famous. And in any way that we can help you, come alongside you, we're honored. We say this on our team a lot, but serving is a privilege, and it truly is one in whatever way we get to help you all. I am not concerned at all if people know my name or even our company's name, but I am very, very concerned that people know Jesus' name. And so thank you for what you're doing to make his name known. We believe that one day Jesus will return and every tongue will confess Jesus Christ as Lord. And we want people to do that on their own choice, their own free will. And so we leverage technology, social media marketing, things like that, to try to let people have the opportunity to know who Jesus is and to meet with someone who can help them evangelize, disciple, walk with them. I heard a report just today as I'm recording this podcast from a team that we get the privilege of serving who said that one of the people that they uh, brought to the Lord, they introduced them to another Christian, and that person said, "This is the first Christian I've ever met in my whole life." That's still the reality in so many hard places, is that there's people that have never had the chance to hear about the name of Jesus. So we want to leverage every tool we can for that purpose and for God's glory. And so what today I want to share with you all is a way to use Google Tag Manager to create an event that triggers in Facebook, in Meta. And then you can use that for a specific targeting option. We heard about it just a few weeks ago. We have done it. We're using it. I've done things like this before on Bible downloads and some other ones, but it's been somewhat technical. And so as I get into this training, understand that you may need to come back and listen to it or go to our YouTube channel and watch the screen grabs. That's going to be really important on this week's show, is that you're watching the screen grabs because this is happening right in 2023, right here in March of 2023. So your screens should look similar to what we are doing as well. But it will take you a little bit of time. To set this up, we've estimated around 45 minutes to an hour maybe for you to do it. And so this is just find some time, sit down, and work on your Google Tag Manager firing into Meta. All right. And this is what's going to create a quality visitor event, a quality visitor conversion event in Meta for you. All right. So let's dive right into the training. So taking this 45 minutes to an hour to make this, you're going to want to make sure there's a few things that you already have done. All right. So there's some things here that are important to make sure that you have. Ideally, when this is all done, you're going to have the tracking, the quality traffic, all of that's going to be recorded for you as a conversion for your Meta ads, your Facebook or Instagram ads. You do need, though, Google Tag Manager. So if you've not done that yet and you've not set that up, you really need to make sure that that is done. And obviously, you need a Meta business account because we're going to get your Facebook pixel and use that, your metapixel, in this process. So when you're tracking this, the reason why it's so important is that it is a better, in our opinion, indicator of ad success. It gives the Facebook algorithm higher quality data to be able to optimize your ad. So as you run it, for us, we do that on a frequency basis. But the longer that you run it, the more quality data that you give Facebook, the better the chance you're going to find those people that the Holy Spirit's already beginning to work on. So when you have created your Meta Facebook pixel, you want to make sure that it is installed on your website. And then you're going to create a container in Google Tag Manager. So let's jump into it a little bit. First thing you're going to do is you're going to add your pixel code to your Google Tag Manager. So what you need to do as you're doing this process is to just find your pixel information. So first off, make sure you have Google Tag Manager open, log into it. If you're watching the video here, you'll see that there's a place where it says new tag. So you log in, Google Tag Manager, and click on new tag. Once you've done that, all right, and you have your pixel code, now you're going to install your code right in there under the tag, and you're going to select custom HTML. All right, so select custom HTML, and then in that box that's right below that, paste your meta pixel tracking code. All right, now the key thing is you want to make sure that code is in there and that it fires on page views for all of your pages. Right? So where it says right below where you enter that HTML code, there's going to be a box right at the bottom that says triggering, and that's where you want it to fire on all pages. Right? And so when you're all done, it's going to look something like this, where the code is there, the HTML is there, and you have it firing on all pages. Now, next, we want then to create a 60-second page view event. So when someone has come to your website and they have stayed on your site for at least 60 seconds, that's when we want that first trigger to happen. So what you're going to do here is you're going to create a new tag. And once again, you're going to select the HTML tag. All right. So this is the sequencing and all of this is going to happen. And then you're in the HTML box there, you're going to paste the code into it that is a small little script. And on this, you're going to want to just watch the video, but there's a small script that says track it time on page 60 seconds. All right, so that's what you want to do. Once you've put that in under that new tag and under HTML, that small little script, and watch the video, come to our website, we'll put those things there. Then under advanced settings, so under the advanced settings, under the bottom of that page, which is what you're seeing right here, okay? So this part right here, under advanced settings, go to tag sequencing, which is right below it, and select the option to fire your base pixel tag before this one fires. Okay, so we don't want the 60-second tag to fire before your Facebook pixel tag has already fired. All right, so there's a sequencing. This one is firing after your meta base pixel. That's the first thing that you created, was that meta base pixel. Now you're creating a new tag, and this one is the 60-second one. All right, and so that's all that process is to that. So you would come through, and then under the custom HTML, here is where it looks. All right, so this is what this tag sequencing looks like. 3 lines. First one, script. Second line, FBQ, and you see it right here. If you're curious about it, jump to the YouTube video, but it's a super simple script. So you'll just paste that in exactly as you see it on the video, all right? And then you see the tag sequencing. It's set up to fire after the meta base pixel. Now, we need some sort of tripwire. Google Tag Manager calls that a trigger. All right. And so you'll want to save that bit, go back out, and you're going to pick on a new trigger. Under trigger configuration, you're going to set the time down there as the option. All right. And under event name, just call it GTM.timer. All right, so you see it's timer, that's the trigger type. Event name will be called GTM.timer. And then under intervals, this is where we want it to be. It's done in milliseconds, so it's going to be 60,000, which is 60 seconds. All right, so you put it to one time and you set it to be enabled to fire when the page URL is the ones on your domain. So for this example, if you're watching the video, or as I describe it, it is for Kavanaugh Media on our website. When somebody is on our website for more than 60 seconds, it fires and it sends it back to, right, all of the meta algorithm and pixels and event setups that we have set up. All right, so we want this to fire all the time on all timers. And then once you're done, once you've done this, it should look like this. All right, so tag configuration, custom HTML, there's 3 little lines of scripting there. It is set up to fire after the meta base pixel, and then it's triggering time on page, which is what you just created, the 60-second timer. All right. Now, there's a couple other ones that we recommend that you should look into as well. Here's another one, the 70% scroll depth. Sometimes we bury the call to action like get a Bible or message us, and it's at the bottom of the landing page and nobody's ever seen it. Well, let's find out how many people are actually getting to the bottom of your page. So you're going to create a new tag and you're going to once again select custom HTML. And then in that HTML box, you're going to put a very simple script again. The first line of it says script. The third line says slash script. It's just that second line that is what's different. And it's identical to the other one, except it says scroll depth event. So we're going to come in there and we're going to fire a tag and we're going to set all of this up. All right. So under advanced settings is where you're going to do this. Go under there, go to tag sequencing, and select the option to fire your base pixel tag before this one fires. So once again, we want the base metapixel to fire, and then the 60-second trigger if it fires, or this one, the 70% scroll. So they get to the bottom third of the landing page. We want those to fire afterwards. All right. So once you've done that, all right, let me go back through here. We'll go to this one. We have all this set up that it's to fire at that point. Now, when you've done that, it should look like this. All right. So as you're looking at the screen here, custom HTML, 3 lines of HTML, tag sequencing is set up to set up tags the meta base pixel. All right. So you look at your screens, match them to this one, and it should be working at that point. Once again, though, we've got to create the trigger. So we have these tags set up, but they don't fire until until something triggers it to take place. So under the trigger, you're going to go in there, set scroll depth as the option, and check the box that says vertical scroll depth. All right, so vertical scroll depth, you can see it right here. All right, that's where it's at. And then under percentage, put 70. And that represents 70%. And then you want to enable it on when the window loads. So as soon as the landing page loads, it'll fire if they get to the bottom of that 70%. And we want it to fire on all pages. All right, so it should look just like this. Right? And so when everything is done on this part, it's going to look like this. Custom HTML, 3 lines of code, firing here the meta base pixel, and it's triggering at the 70% scroll depth. All right, so that's the process to that. Not too bad, not too hard there, right? All right, so now we're 2/3 of the way done though. We still need to create the event in Facebook. So we have everything done and we want to get all of this happening in here. Well, what do we have to do? We have to create a quality visitor event, right? And that's going to be this last part of the part in Google Tag Manager that we need to do. So you're going to go back under again, and we're going to create a new tag. Once again, this third one will be HTML, and we're going to use the same little script, except for this time it's going to say quality traffic. Remember, we've had time and we've had scroll depth. This one is quality traffic. All right. And so when you've got these things set up in this, you're going to option to fire this pixel tag before this one that you're setting up is going to fire. So we want, as always, the base pixel to fire. Somebody's been to your page. Now what do we want? All right. So we want to fire the base pixel tag here before this one you're creating takes place. So you've done all of that. You've done all these things here. Here it is, tag configuration, custom HTML, 3 little lines of code, and all of that is set up here at that point. But as you've now heard me say already twice, we need a trigger to do that. So we've got to set up the trigger for this one. So on this one, here's how we're going to do it. We're going to create a trigger group. Okay, so we're going to group these together. So under trigger configuration, you're going to pick trigger group. And then under the triggers, select the tags we previously created. All right, the time on page and the scroll depth event. That's the key thing here, the time on the page and all of that. And set the trigger to fire on all conditions. Right? And when you've done that, it should look like this. So here's your trigger group, and underneath it, it is grouping together your 70% scroll and time on page, and it fires on all conditions. All right, not too hard. So when it's all set up, it should look like this. Tag configuration, custom HTML, 3 little lines of scripting, tag sequencing is the meta base pixel, and then at the very bottom, the firing trigger. The triggering is going to be the quality visitor. It's that tag group. So you've created everything, you're tying it all in together now at this point. When you've got all of this done, then you want to preview the tool to make sure everything is firing right. And if it is, then click Submit to finalize your changes to your Google Tag Manager container. All right, so you can preview it. There's ways to test that, but you have to hit Submit or it's not going to work. That's your final thing that you need to do. So we've done it. Now let's see how we can use it in Meta, in the Event Manager. So when you go into that, you're going to go in your Facebook business account, business.facebook.com, and you're going to go to your Event Manager. All right, so you'll click on the 3 lines on the left under your account and then go to Event Manager. Event Manager is where you want to go. At that point, you want to click on Data Sources. All right, so you're going to click on that button that says Data Sources, and then after selecting your pixel, you're going to scroll down on the Overview tab, and you're going to find a button that says Aggregated Event Measurement. You're going to pick that option, and then you're going to click that button. So it's going to look like this. So you've selected your pixel, you're scrolling down, and you're going to see a button in blue saying Aggregated Event Measurement. And that is the one that you're going to pick, and then click on the button that says Configure Web Events. All right, so Aggregated Event Measurement, and then Configure Web Events. Now, when you've done that, you want to select your domain and then click, there's a gray button that says Manage Events. All right, so you're going to click on that, and then there's a button, it's a green one, on the right that you're going to click that says Add Event. And this is the key thing that we're setting this all up together. Click Add Event, and then make sure you've selected your pixel in the Custom Conversion drop-down menu. If you've got more than one in your ad account or in your Meta account, you make sure you're picking the right one and then pick Quality Traffic. Here's what it would look like. All right, so this is what we're trying to do here. We go through there, we pick the right pixel, and then the event name we're looking for is called Quality Traffic. Right? When we've done all of that, you should have your event now lined up there that you're sending. All right. You're going to add event, right? And under that event name, pick quality traffic. Right. So that's the key thing here. We've gone through, we've aggravated the aggregate part to it. We have then picked our domain, picked our right pixel, chosen the event name quality traffic, and then we're going to save it. All right. And so when we've done that, all of this data is now being sent back to it. So hit the apply button, and then you're going to get another screen here. All right. And that final screen is going to be the one that we use when we are picking what kind of ad or things we want to do. This is when you're in the ad development. So you're creating the ad. And you've not heard us talk about this before, but under Meta Marketing 2023, you can use this sales button in a really powerful way. So you will create a new campaign and you will pick sales as your objective. All right. I know most of you wouldn't do that because you're like, we're not doing sales, but we want to pick that because we are doing a very specific thing with this event, with this conversion event. So when you get to the ad set level, when you get down there, you're going to pick performance goal of maximum number of conversions. All right, that's your performance goal. Then pick your pixel and then pick quality traffic as the conversion event. That's the key thing you're trying to do here. At this point, everything else is exactly the same as you would do in your ad creation process. You'll give it a name. Facebook will use this conversion data to drive higher quality visitors to your website. But it takes time. So if you've only got 5 or 10 people coming to your website, don't expect a lot of data right away. So what you might want to do is do a traffic campaign to your website first to build up data. And then once you've got a few thousand people that have come to your page, now try this sales objective using this quality traffic conversion event. Right. And so that's the key. That's the thing you want to do with this is have enough data of people who have scrolled or spent a lot of time on your page, and you're combining those together, you're creating a very high quality website visit to your page. All right. So hopefully you can follow along. The screens will match what yours will show. Go through this and give it a try. We're always trying to figure out, all right, which one do we want to use? Which objective do we want to use? Well, here's your chance. Try a new one and set up this new conversion event from your website and see how it goes. If you see some success with it, let us know. We'd love to hear about how it works for you, good or bad. We are learning with you, and we would love for you to experiment with this. The reason why, we want to keep pushing forward, trying every way we can to make Jesus known, to give people an opportunity to know Jesus. So, to that goal and to that end, may you keep pressing forward, and may God bless your efforts to bring glory to Him and to His kingdom. Until next time, take care and God bless.